So here we are back at Greenwoods for day 2 of the reopening weekend. We didn't do any videoing yesterday, but we had a good time walking around, chatting to everybody. Last night we spent the evening at the local Miller and Carter. I'll show you a video of us sat enjoying it. Well, I'll show you a picture of us sat enjoying ourselves. A good time was had by all, hopefully, and we said that we'd pop back down this morning just to have a final chat, pick up my 5 bags of akadama that I failed to collect yesterday, and just have a quick chat with Josh and Corin. Here we are at the new entrance to Greenwoods. You can see the new setup there. Here's Josh. Normally the man behind the camera, but today he's in front of the camera. Hi Josh, how are you?
Hello, not bad. Just setting up early in the morning, sun in my eyes, like.
Yeah, we've just been saying we didn't do any recording yesterday, and today's day 2 of the grand reopening weekend.
Yeah, should be a bit better.
We had a good night last night down at Miller and Carter.
Yeah, good steak.
And we've just come back in today to have a final look round, pick up my bags of akadama that I didn't pick up yesterday, and have a quick chat with you and Corin.
No bother, yeah. Well, it's all good. So if you've not seen the shop yet on your channel, well, you came the other day, didn't you?
Yeah, we got a sneak preview, but it's finished now. These were the deals that were to be had over the weekend. Some good deals. And that's the new counter, the live edged counter.
How you doing? Good.
And here's the man himself at the brewing up at the donut stall on tea duty.
On the tea duty this morning.
So the displays of the pots are been swapped and changed about since our last visit, and there's some absolutely fantastic pots on display. If you bring yourself down to Greenwoods, you'll be able to pick a pot for any tree that you've got, and they look absolutely fantastic in their display. Some books for sale. Can obviously recommend the Harry Tomlinson Complete Book of Bonsai, and another one to recommend to you is the Bonsai Heresy book by Michael Hagedorn. If you can get hold of that one, highly recommend you getting that book. So venturing out of the shop into the external area, there's the Chow Chow. And in the studio, Corin has put some trees on display. So let's have a little enjoyment walking round these trees. A nice dissector mesa. The colours of these trees are absolutely amazing. Root over rock. Absolutely fantastic. Field maple. Another bright red acer with a huge base. There's my hand to show the size of that. Absolutely fantastic. A trident maple in its autumn colours. Root around rock, over rock. Absolutely fantastic. I believe this is a blue cedar or something. Beautiful tree. Another dissectum longleaf. Beautiful. camouflage tree from last time we were here at the Bonsai Bash. Semi-cascade. Beautiful. Ryan looking
Hey,
happy
folks.
next to a tree that he wants to work on.
Corin says I
Get-
can work on this.
Get wiring.
But Josh is saying to me, actually, I don't wire it.
Josh is here. Josh is a secret weapon, I would say, of Corin's.
I suppose.
A lot of the wiring you do, don't you, of a lot of these trees while Corin's ready to style and stuff. And
Do bits of wiring, do a lot of potting and trimming as well for him. Look after quite a lot of the trees really, yeah, with Corin. Quite fun really, it is good.
yeah. How long have you been here now, Josh?
4 or 5 years, I think.
4 or 5 years.
4 and a bit, I'd say.
Yeah.
It's quite good. We've been helping to, you know, do all the YouTube channel and the new website and all the rest of the things and getting everything all modernised. It's all good.
To all intents and purposes, you've been Corin's apprentice.
I suppose, yeah, I like to think so.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
it's
Well,
good.
there's not many people that you would choose outside of Corin to be your mentor and
No, that's
bring you
right.
on and teach you things. Plus, you already knew a lot before you.
Yeah, I was quite a lot
Came
into
in.
gardening and everything
Yeah.
before I came here, so between the two of us,
And you know all the science. Well, I say all the science.
Well,
you know
yeah.
a lot of the science behind the trees.
that's right, yeah.
You know, so that pulled in with the knowledge and experience gained whilst being here,
Yeah,
pulled out of, you know, learning and studying with Corin. I can imagine.
it's
Yeah.
cool, I get to see a lot of good stuff. And I get to get my hands on a lot of good trees.
Yeah,
as
well, I mean, the
which is
size of that
fun.
tree, that's.
Yeah, it used to belong to Paul Goff, who was another bonsai artist who did all the photography for Corin's dad's book as well. So
Right.
it's quite like a legacy tree. It's a good tree indeed.
That's the thing with a lot of trees here. They hold a lot of legacy and a lot of history going back 30, 40, maybe even 50
Yeah.
years.
Well, that's it. I read Corin's dad's book, and then now I get to water trees that were in that book 30 years
Yeah.
later.
Well, we're just about to look at that maple over there, aren't we?
Yeah.
That's returned to Greenwoods after being away for, how long was it away? About 25, 30 years?
Well, the guy purchased it in 1978 from here, and then we
For a fiver.
Yeah, for a fiver.
That tree was bought for a fiver. Corin offered to double the guy's money.
We're going to be doing a bit of a follow up on it. We've got photos of it through the years of the man owning it, and it's come back now.
You've got like the full history of it, haven't you?
Yeah,
that's
you
right.
need to look out for the video of this tree that's going to come from Greenwoods. And
It just shows you what you could do with raw material if you put the time into it.
yeah, I mean, it was a stick in a pot, wasn't it? Really,
Literally,
when the guy took it, and it spent all its life in a pot, really.
Mm.
So, you know, this splayed out Nabari is as a result of being in the pot for all that 30 to 40 years.
It's quite impressive, really.
Whose pot is that? Is that a named,
I think it's an old Warsaw pot.
an old Walsall
I'm
pot?
not entirely sure.
It's got the look of one, hasn't it?
They used to have the gas kiln, which they could do larger pots with. That shishy there is a really vintage Warsaw pot. So they won't be able to make that kind of glaze again without using a gas kiln.
Yeah. It always amazes me how some people like yourself, like Corin and all the rest of it, can look at all these different pots and say that's a XYZ pot, that's a Gordon Duffet, that's a,
Yeah.
you know, all the,
Duffet just here, for example.
yeah, you know,
But you can tell by looking at them.
Yeah.
They've got styles.
but that's another piece of knowledge and experience that you've picked up along the way, that you can look at a pot
Yeah.
and say, oh, that at least looks like a Dan Barton, Gordon Duffet, Walsall Ceramics, or you know, all these different potters. Whereas I look and I see a pot and I think, yeah, it looks all right, and I'm not 100% on who
Yeah.
or what or where it could have come from.
Well, you've seen the pot shelves in the new shop, and I've had to physically put every single one of them there. So the amount of pots that go through my hands from being here, you have a little look
Yeah.
at them all, don't you? And you just get to tune yourself in.
But we thought we'd come in here and just enjoy the display that Corin's put on for this weekend.
Yeah.
And there are some absolutely amazing, terrific trees.
A lot of maples, but obviously we went to choose what looked good, and everything. They all just pop out when you walk through the compound.
Well, the colours that are on display
Yeah.
are absolutely amazing.
Like even the colours outside look better, don't they?
Yes, yeah. This Araucata here, I managed to take a load of softwood cuttings from that 2 years ago as well. When Corin was trimming, I just took a few of the cuttings, and I've got a load of them about this sort of size. Inspired by Bill Valvanis when I saw all of his Araucatas. So Corin let me take some cuttings. So hopefully I'm going to have a clump style that's basically come from this tree.
And that's the good thing, being a cutting, they are going to be
true, yeah.
identical to that tree, whereas
this
if you've
got a graft point on it on the roots, which is not unfortunate, but it's interesting. But if the roots did have the rough bark on it, it'd just make it even more.
Yeah.
And the only way to achieve that is to either air layer or take a cutting from the main part of the tree.
So it's on its own stock.
That's right, yeah. Either way, that's definitely my favourite tree.
It's a lovely, lovely tree.
And this is in a Gordon Duffet as well, crackly to match the bark.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to speak to Gordon at Heathrow, and he spent a bit of time chatting with me, and I was, quite happy that he was willing to spend a bit of his personal time talking to me.
Yeah, he's a cool guy.
He is.
Yeah.
It's not like the flow side of rain, are they?
Yeah. But you're so used to seeing green trees, it makes it look sort of fluorescent, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, some lovely stuff.
That's what it is.
So when we was here on our last visit, we did have a look around all the aisles, but we didn't quite manage to get around these last aisles, and I'm kind of glad, because I don't want to go over the same thing again and again and again. And having been here just a couple of weeks ago, it's nice to have come back and all these autumn colours showing on the maples, especially this forest. Wow, look at that. Absolutely fantastic. And just looking backwards, a nice trident maple there. Absolutely amazing. So we'll just cover these last aisles that we didn't get the last time we were here. And you can see the colour differences in the junipers to the maples. Fantastic. And as you can see, there's some really good specimens available to you if you come to Greenwoods. A nice ginkgo, multi-trunk.
Get off the ginkgos. Get off the ginkgos.
Ryan loves a ginkgo. We all know Ryan loves a ginkgo.
No, we don't.
And then we've got more and more all going off. Yeah, lots of crab apples at a decent price. Get yourself up here to get a crab apple.
Some nice moment in them.
Some really good stuff to be able to come and get. The sun's out, absolutely full bright. What a day to have come back. Little bit of a bargain area up here. Japanese white pine, a great big beech, another great big beech. Some interesting bits up here if you've got time to work with them. There's some Scots pines, 250 and 150. The wire's been on for a little bit long on some of them. They've got a bit of inverse taper down the bottom, but if you cut them back and stick them in the ground with all that movement down below, you could end up with something special maybe one day with a bit of time investment. And then over here you've got all the all the younger trees, and if you fancy making a nice maple forest, we've been looking at these a couple of times yesterday. For £9.50 you can get yourself some decent Japanese maples, and you could put a nice forest together with those. And there's some varying colours. You've got some reds, you've got one there that's still green. Yeah, you could put a nice forest together. I think somebody looks like they were thinking of putting some to one side here, but there's enough to get a forest together.
Get a nice forest for about £80 by the time you got the trays in the pot, wouldn't you?
Yep, you've got the pots inside. You could come, soil Hakadama at a really good price. 7 of those at £9.50, that's less than £90. And then you get the pot and the soil and you'll be away. Some conifers, lots of conifers. And I will take you to a tree that I've got my eye on. I've been forced to have my eye on it. It's been picked out for me. I believe, is it down this row? I will find it. No, I've gone a row too early. Round here there's a Scots pine, double tagged, so 20% off that Scots pine. A long elegant trunk, so kind of a semi-literati style, with some pads already in position, just need slightly repositioning to make it into a good tree. And yeah, it's been suggested that I should put it on my hit list as the potential Scots pine. Outside the studio we have a load of tables with lots and lots of pots available at a very good price. £18. We get you a decent sized pot. It'll have a slight blemish in it somewhere, and it's a slight second, but very, very reasonable. Oh, that's why it is, it's got a slight chip on the edge there. But if you can live with that, for £18, super cheap pot. £20 for a nice oval pot, £40 for a larger pot, and then all these pots anywhere between a couple of pounds, 10s, 15s, 20s, really good prices, ideal to start. I mean, for £4 for that, how can you go wrong? What a great little pot for £4. And I saw a lot of them being purchased yesterday, so there was a lot more than this. An amazing amount of pots at very good, decent prices. Unfortunately, the high quality Japanese Kanishin tools are still coming soon, so we will have to pay another visit to find out what the special tools are going to be in that cabinet. I'm still excited to see what they're going to be. There's lots of different types of scissors and cutting tools. A pair of scissors that Corin uses himself. I've tested them and they cut really well. It's got a nice trimming action. More tools still as last time, and then all your wire. soils, mixtures, pumice, akadama, kiryu, everything you want. And of course, your wire caddies.
Yeah, this might come off my neck when it shrinks off.
Some ideal Christmas presents if anybody's thinking of buying a bonsai enthusiast, some presents for Christmas. Starter kits, some cheaper pots. Lots of possibilities for you. So we're back from Greenwood Bonsai, and I've been busy in the house doing a few things, and a certain individual's made himself busy in the green room, and we planned to do a video similar to Nigel's temple, and I had the pleasant surprise of coming in and it's done, young man. Thank you very much, but he's done an absolutely splendid job. All the ficus religiosa are in place. We've got a nice odd number of trees in there, 7, which left one over there, which I think he might be taking home with him, along with, let me just show you, ignore the sustenance that's underneath, those 3 in that little planting, some ficus religiosas for Ryan, and a crappy little pot for him.
The ficus like the jades. He's trying to get us on the ficus like the jades, aren't you, son?
Yeah, I've succeeded with the jades. He's now got too many jades, and he's soon going to have too many ficus at this rate. But he's done an absolutely fantastic job for me.
You're welcome.
I think everybody would have liked to have seen that, but I think the trees were pretty much slip potted into place, weren't they? Because they don't really want the roots messing about with too much. But they've been...
There's nothing cut off them, they were just pulled out a little bit.
Yeah, and you've left quite a lot of the bigger leaves on to help it recover and grow into that place. And hopefully as we go forward, we'll be taking some of them leaves off and trying to reduce the size of those leaves. But these were all grown from seed.
Huh?
Yeah, I planted 10 religiosa seeds. We've got 7. No, I must have done more than 10, because we've got 7 there,
One there.
the 1 over there, and the 3 in there. So I must have done more than 10. But basically, the bag of ficus figs, the religiosas, pretty much all of them germinated. So, and these are about 3, maybe 4 years old. Some have got a bit of a decent trunk on them. Some of them have got a pencil sort of size trunk, and some are a little bit smaller. But yeah, they've managed to stay alive despite me growing them. And yeah, I think they'll be happy in that pot. That's a nice big pot. That was, I think that was Crawley K2 that pot came from, and it was about 60 quid. Not too bad.
No. That one's grown that way to try and follow the temple.
Yeah, that one's into the temple there.
Trying.
It might... we did have the idea of putting one inside that's grown up and through, and try and harass the temple a bit, but
I think it'll be too much.
this will grow into itself, and more will happen around the temple, etc. The ornaments at the front might be a little bit out of place,
It's just an afterthought.
because they look brand new, but it just adds to the effect of what they are, and I'm happy with it anyway, especially not having to do any of the hard work. Pete's been in and around making sure Ryan's doing a good job, inspecting the situation to make sure everything's okay.
Kids watching us.
Yeah. Harry and Margot have both been watching you do stuff and kept coming to me and saying,
Harry's
yeah.
had a little go.
What did he have a go on again?
He's put the moss on there.
Ah, see, he
Ginkgos.
started mossing up the ginkgos before he
Had a go.
got pulled away. So we'll probably have a mossing Monday and moss them up. But everything's green in the green room still, pretty much. We got rid of the dead ones, so you can't see the dead. We had a bit of a clear out. Ryan always has a clear out for me when he comes. He saves me from myself with all the rubbish that I try to keep hold of. And the only thing he's not having much success with is the jades.
Plenty of time for that.
There is plenty of time for that. But it's been a good weekend. I've really enjoyed this weekend down at Greenwoods. We nipped to Greenwoods, we saw a few people, we come back, got changed ready for the evening, went back to Greenwoods, had another couple of 3 hours, didn't we? It was kind of, we'd done it all twice. And then we went down again this morning, which is, we've got some footage from that. Out last night for the Miller and Carter, that was good.
Well,
We had a good night last night.
Corin and Josh.
And then we came home with the original idea of doing a bit of something, but I was a little bit hanging. I was really tired, as I normally am nowadays, getting old. And I managed to keep up for a little bit. At about 11:30, towards 12 o'clock, I had to call it an evening, and we got up this morning and started all over again, didn't we, really?
Straight down Corin's.
Straight back down to Greenwoods. And then back here for Sunday dinner. We've had a nice pork Sunday dinner. All the family come round, so Ryan's had to bear with the family. And so I've had to do the fatherly and grandfatherly duties, and Ryan, he, said hello to everybody, but he came in here and made himself busy. Thanks, mate. It's much appreciated. So it's kind of helped me out with a few things that I was procrastinating about. I've talked about that planting for however long and not done it. I've talked about the ficuses however long. It doesn't sound right, does it? Ficuses? Should it be fici?
Ficus.
Is the plural ficus?
Ficus.
Not fici?
No, that sounds wrong.
I got my fici. So we planted up the ficus eventually, and hopefully they'll take into that. They'll be in here, so they'll be warm through the winter. If they show any signs of degrading, I'll take them up to the garage, and they'll go into one of the tents that I've got up there. Nothing switched on in there at the moment. The jades in here are surviving even with how cold it's got, and we need to do some more work on these as well. Let's go and have a look at the trees that Ryan worked on last time he was here and see if he's happy with how they are. It's just starting to get dark outside, so let's go and have a look, and you can see what Ryan thinks to what condition they're in. So up on the wall are some of the trees that Ryan worked on. I think that was the Never Be a Bonsai tree over there. We'll pull that across. The little white pine was wired. That was wired, and I think this one we just left as is. We might have just re-cleaned it up a little bit, but that's doing okay. The pyracantha is doing okay. That's dead. That was a 20 quid purchase a bit back, and it slowly died. This is the It Will Never Be a bonsai tree that Ryan, well, turned into a bonsai, mate. I think you did a great job on that, didn't you? I think we can be nothing but proud of that for Ryan. I do need to do a bit of weeding in there, so on Wednesday we'll have Weeding Wednesday.
I've already took
Ryan's just pulled a load out, but I'll get into the bush. I think with the birds flying in the bushes and things, they're dropping lots of seeds and stuff into there. That you can see the pine in there, it's full of weeds, so we need to get busy on Weeding Wednesday. Are you going to do a Weeding Wednesday?
I might have to.
Every
because,
day's
every day's a weeding
every
day,
day's a
mate.
weeding day, but I think I'll have a weeding Wednesday. So that's the ones up on the wall that are just up and out of the way, and hopefully they'll do all right. New addition to the channel, an azalea bought from the Doncaster car boot sale from Mark.
Mark Dillon.
I looked at the pot and I was like, do you know what, the tree's nice and all that, and it'll do well, but for £100 I'm buying the pot.
My Mark makes them pots because I've got a few of them. Of Mark's.
Yeah, he's done. Everybody who's seen it has said, no matter what you do with the tree, with it being azalea, that pot is worth the money that you spent on it. And the moss is good as well. The moss that's in there is real nice and thick moss. So mossing Monday.
Judy Tuesday.
We're going to have something to do for every day of the week. Harry's been watering his beans.
The double.
Pete, heel. Can't show that bit, can I? He's ignored me. Pete, heel, come on. I've managed to yet again commandeer a bit of space in Kay's greenhouse. As you'll see, I've taken over one of the shelves with some of the bigger jades, and we're going to get them into some nice little pots and cut them down and make them into something nice over a long period of time. The redwood has taken on its autumn colours. Ryan's is still bright green up at home, isn't it? But the redwood's taken on its red copper colours really well, and it's still redwood, it's not deadwood. And I probably ought to bring the fruit tree in. That's been outside in the cold. That should probably come inside, to be fair.
Oh, sorry, I tripped over it in the
And then the field maple that we got from Rob is taking on its autumn colours, and that's doing really nice. I think you can see it from here. We've got the love of the channel, Houghton Bonsai. Wasn't me that did it. During his busyness, he's redecorated and claimed a bit of space, but he deserves the space in here, to be fair. So all that's left for me is to thank Ryan for coming and spending the weekend down here with
thank
me.
you, mate. I appreciate it.
Always enjoy our time together. We normally have a decent time. It's been okay. It's been fine, hasn't it?
It's been good.
I think I've left you alone a bit too much because you've wiped me out. It's all, you know.
Could have done with an extra hour and a half and you wouldn't have had 9 shades. What he doesn't know is Kay keeps on telling us to get rid of them.
Yeah, and Kay's injecting them with something in the roots to try and kill them off. Yeah.
Ammonia peroxide.
Aren't I loved? So that's going to do it for today. So get out there, make the best of the rest of your day. Be kind to each other, animals and the planet. And as always, I'll see you again in the next one. And
Ta-da, folks. And catch us later.
bye, everyone.